Hey everyone, this is Miles, bringing you another replay. Today we're on Duel II version 1.2 and we have Zebh versus Kyuubi. Up top, this is Zebh, he's playing the white Klingons. That was Zebh, wasn't it? Yes. Zebh is the white Klingons, he is Martok, as he's got torpedoes. Down here is Kyuubi, and he is the red Klingons, and he is Martok as well. Well, this should be interesting. Klingons versus Klingons. Zebh's scout is just that little bit ahead. He's going to realise and probably note that it's a Klingon versus Klingon match. So we shall see what this brings. Martok, a very common strategy for Martok is to make early Battle Yard go for Vultures, because his Battle Yard is slightly cheaper. That would work if his opponent goes for the bird of preys such as Burrells and Cavorts, because they're both short range, the Vulture counters short range. So this could be a slow match to start if both of them rush up to the battle yard. Here we have Zebh is going for bird of prey extension. Kyuubi hasn't put up the yard yet, he's going for both resources first. Interesting. I doubt he's going to go for Vulture rush now. He's just a bit too far behind to rush up to Vultures that fast. So interestingly, if Kyuubi had rushed up to Vultures, he'd do quite well against the birds of prey that are about to come out. It seems Zebh is only interested in birds of prey. 3 Burrells queued up, not going for cabbages. Out goes this constructor. One thing I like about this map is how the green nebula isn't as easily accessible to the mining anymore. Adds a tactical element to using it. So 4 Burrells. Zebh wants 4 Burrells. Kyuubi is sending his constructor up to the expansion. He's not that far behind Zebh. To be honest, if he wanted to, he could still go for that Vulture rush. And it does appear he's going to do that. This yard isn't upgrading. Most people, when they do a Vulture rush, they'll put up bird of prey expansion, put out a few Burrells for decloak. Zebh's going to have that advantage here. He's going to have 5 Burrells now. Every time I look back, he adds another one. So yeah, he's going to have 5 Burrells. They should be good at keeping Kyuubi visible. This should now be the battle yard. And it's mining station. Interesting. So still no ships. Oh no, here comes bird of preys. So 1 mining station between 2 moons. A good strategy. Cuts down on a bit of cost. Zebh knows exactly where this is. He knows what's going on. I don't think he saw this bird of prey expansion going up. And here we have field research, so this is going to be probably Cavorts, maybe Quebecs. We'll just have to see. Zebh should have a fleet out. He's got a scout and a Burrell. And a scout over here. And here we have Kyuubi is going for small ships. Zebh is going for field research for the Cavorts, presumably. Might cancel a couple of these Burrells. Not going for Quebecs. Oh no, there's the battle yard. So yes, Zebh is going to go for the Vultures, presumably. Or is he? See, he's putting down field research. Field research, that's a lot of money he's probably spent on it, which he could have spent on the armory for the Vultures. I'm going to take that back. I don't think he's going to go for the Vultures. Maybe Sangs. If he thinks his enemy is going to go for Vultures, Sangs would do okay. But neither of them appear to be going for Vultures. They're both going for field researches. Here we have Kyuubi putting out the Burrells. Should be good to keep Zebh from cloaking away as easily. And lots of Quebecs. Fairly solid. They're 2 okay ships. And here we have another field yard at his expansion. Zebh is bringing in a Burrell and a Nokduj scout. Presumably this scout's going to go over there too. and this Burrell. In a minute they're all going to arrive and maybe destroy us. This constructor or maybe a miner. The scout, the Klingon scout, isn't to be laughed at. 7 offense is actually quite powerful. Doesn't appear he wants to bring in both of the scouts though. Doesn't appear he wants to use either of the scouts. So he's going to go straight for the miner. And it's turned into a Katinga. So yeah, recently, I believe it was 3.15, they added a new aspect to the Katinga. When you pop it, it gets a bonus. You can only pop it in range of a mining station, but when you do pop it, it gets a slight bonus temporarily, which, as you can see, really chipped away at the shields of that Burrell. After about 30 seconds, it loses that bonus and gets its cloak back. Here it is. Here's the special. +3 to offensive and defensive, but no cloak. That drops and it gets back its cloak now. So this, he can either keep it in his fleet to bolster his fleet against the early rush of Burrells that Zebb's got. He's got his 3rd Burrell out now. Or he can cloak it and go send it somewhere to do scouting. And Zebh just hasn't decided what he wants from his battle yard yet. It's possible he's waiting for the funds to build an armory. If he gets the armory up, he'll be well positioned with vultures. Even if the Boggz will do okay against them, the vultures are generally a nice ship. They make good use of the battle yard's investment. Sangs here would be a mistake because Kyuubi is going mostly for small ships. Just something I'd like to point out, he's put this expansion up here. He's put his yard at his expansion, but he hasn't put any extensions on it. He's just got the base yard, which acts as a repair dock. Personally, I would have not put the Quebec yard here. I'd have expanded this one to the central facility for the Quebecs. That way he's producing from both his base and his expansion. That way ships are coming out both ends. Maybe one can defend. Later on, if he has the money, he can still put the 2nd one at each of them. Either way, he still gets the repair dock at both. This Katinga appears to be slated for combat, which can't hurt too bad. He's got a Quebec, 2 Burrells. Let's see what Zebb's got. Zebh is at his expansion with 3 Burrells. Well, this is interesting. Zebh is putting up plenty of sensor stations. He's got one at his main Tritanium. More Burrell. Oh, Cavorts. He's going into Cavorts now. That's good. And he's got a scout station at his main Tritanium, and now he's putting up one at his expansion. They're not terribly expensive. That's the thing. They are quite cheap, so I think he can afford them. But he has only got 4 ships, 4 Burrells. I did not notice the other Burrell. 4 Burrells, soon to have a Cavort. Just now got it. While his enemy now has 2 Quebecs, 3 Burrells and a Katinga. Here we go. Zebh is decloaking his scout. Don't know why he did that. The Katinga just couldn't get rid of the scout. Well, at least Zebh forced Kyuubi to sacrifice another miner to become a Katinga. I mean, Kyuubi hasn't lost too badly because he's got a Katinga out of it. And look at the respectable damage that Katinga is doing to this Burrell. It's not going to be enough to force him to kill the Burrell, but just enough to make Zebh rethink what he's doing. This Burrell should probably run away and cloak soon. So yes, Zebh killed 1 miner. Got a rank with this Burrell. Didn't get a Katinga. Oh no, Burrells are here. Zebb's cloaked. Oh, Zebh loses a Burrell. And that is the power of manual targeting. Both players have built Burrells because they have manual targeting. So Zebh managed to kill one of his opponent's miners, force another one to become a Katinga. But when the force of Kyuubis came back, Zebh cloaked, and those Borels punished him. Personally, I would have run away without attacking that Katinga, trying to chase it back to the repair yard. I'd have run after he got the one kill. This early in the game, keeping ships alive is a very important thing to do. Get a kill, run away, it's going to be okay. So now Kyuubi has 2 Borels, 2 Quebecs, Borel, Quebec. It's quite a nice fleet, he's getting up there. And 2 Katingas back down here. While Zebh only has 3 Borels and 2 Cavorts. Definitely Kyuubi here has the ship advantage. 3 Borels, 3 Quebecs. Or was that 4 Borels? 4. 4 Borels, 3 Quebecs, 2 Katingas. If I were Kyuubi, I would be out on the attack at the moment. And here's another Borel from Kyuubi, still putting out the last few Borels, still putting out Quebecs like there's no tomorrow, and some Cavorts will be coming soon. Personally, I'd cancel 2 of these Borels, finish this one up, then just make Cavorts. They're just generally more useful. Zebh is going out with his harassing force. He intends to get some kills. Both players seem to be going for a similar strategy here. They're both turtling up. Zeb's putting up a heavy weapons platform at his expansion. Kyuubi's putting up a heavy weapons platform at his expansion. This will hurt them both financially. And this is an interesting one. Kyuubi decommissioned his expansion yard so he'd get some money to put up a heavy weapons platform. I think that's very interesting. So Zeb's hiding around in 2 different places. Kyuubi is hovering at his own expansion. Zebh is decloaking, coming in. This heavy weapons platform will finish long before Zebh can get any kills. Here comes the decloak. This is going to hurt. These Borels probably both dead. Not sure what this Borel was doing. Going down now. Manual targeting means no cloak. The Borels are just as fast as each other, so no one can easily run away. So Zeb's lost another 2 Borels. That brings his losses up to 4 Borels. Ooh, and there's the decloak. 2 Katingas, a Quebec, and a Borel. So right now Zebh needs to be using speed of his birds of prey to run away. Oh no, luckily there's no Borels here. So yes, these Cavorts did a good job here. I don't know why Kyuubi's so quick to turn top maze into Katingas. He's just turned another one here into a Katinga. This one, it's got the higher stats. Well, it had the higher stats a minute ago. That happens every time Zebh attacks him. He turns several miners into Katingas. Personally, I'm not a big advocate of that. Zebh got 1 miner kill, and then Kyuubi just gave away more of his miners by turning them into Katingas. Those Katingas will die pretty quickly later in the game. Here's Zebh. He has 2 miners sitting his expansion that need to start mining. He obviously rally pointed them from the starbase and they just went out there and stopped. So this isn't looking so good for Zebh. He's going for the armory now. Should be expecting vultures from that. Getting some Cavorts out. Martok's Cavorts, plenty of pulses. They'll do well against Kyuubi's mostly small ships. Everything here's small. So yeah, Kyuubi's Borels are doing good. And look at this. This is interesting. A second heavy weapons platform at his expansion. He really is turtling up seriously. Zebh has left it at 1 heavy weapons platform, 2 scout stations, and a Sang. Now that is something I didn't expect. All of Kyuubi's ships are small. The Sang has long range, and the heavy weapons platform also has long range, I believe. So he's not going to be able to shell the heavy weapons platform to death from afar. Zebh has a good amount of resources. He's saving that for his first vulture, I believe. Kyuubi he's got enough resources to continue production of these small yard ships. Cavorts and Quebecs seem to be the order of the day for Kyuubi. He's got no battle yards, so there's not a huge chance of him teching up anytime soon. He's kept Zeb's fleet down. Zebh is down to a Burrell, a Cavort, lots of Cavorts, a Burrell and 5 Cavorts. And up here, 2 Sangs, 3 Sangs. I didn't see all 3 of those Sangs being built. What was I watching? It's incredible. I just didn't see that happening. 3 Sangs. I guess he wanted to make sure he used the battle yards. Personally, I'd have gone for Vultures earlier. And another battle yard at his base. He really is going for a lot of Vultures, I believe. Polo on Torpedo coming up here. He's still making the Cavorts. If he wants to double yard Vultures, he probably ought to stop the Cavorts. So yeah, Zebh was saving up all that money for another battle yard for more Vultures. If I were him, I wouldn't have put this second battle yard at his main base. I'd have put it over here at this lovely sneaky expansion he's put up. Here's the decloak. It's not there. It's over here. Kyuubi for once doesn't have a fleet hovering at his expansion. He does have 2 heavy weapons platforms though. And just look at all these icons. This thing is bristling with weapons. At least the heavy weapons platforms aren't directly on the moons. So Zebh will be able to sit out here and shell these miners to death. I think that was Zeb's plan actually. I didn't see it. But yeah, it's a good plan. Sit outside at a distance and shell. Here comes a decloak. Oh, that's not going to be good. Oh, this one's dead. Zebh sacrificing a Sang there. Burrells, they stupidly counter the Sangs. They do good against long range. Oh dear, look at this. Zeb's being outnumbered at both sides. Yeesh. And he's doing the cloak away again, but Kyuubi does have Burrells here this time. So at each engagement, Zebh has lost a ship to manual targeting. Those Burrells really are paying for their costs. They may take a while to build, but their power as a decloaker is just phenomenal. And Kyuubi's learned from Zeb's last attack. Last time Zebh attacked in one place where Kyuubi's Burrells were, lost a ship there, but on the other place down here at his main Tritanium he didn't have a Burrell, so Zebh was able to cloak those Cavorts out and run. This time he's got Burrells at both of his locations to defend, means that he'll always have some decloak. That's a lot of ships he's got though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Quebecs, a Katinga, few Burrells. That's just at his main Tritanium. Up here at his expansion. 1, 2, 3. 3 Quebecs. 1, 2, 3, 4 Burrells. Wow. Kyuubi really has an impressive fleet. If he pressed his advantage now, I don't think Zebh could stop him very much. Leave maybe the Quebecs behind. They don't have their special, so they're not going to be perfect harassers. I'd leave the Quebecs behind and go attack with most of the birds of prey, but no, he's going to keep them half and half, and this is a harassment fleet. Zeb's got a harassment fleet coming up. 2 Vultures in the mix, some more Cavorts. Zebh can't sustain these losses for very long. He is taking a lot of losses. He can't afford all these Vultures. He's given up on Cavorts. Oh my, I did not see this. He's gone up to the Imperial yards. So yeah, Kyuubi came through this fluid nebula. It no longer hides ships, it just disables their shields and cloak. So he sneaked through this to get an attack on. To be honest, if he'd have gone up here, he'd have seen this perfectly undefended expansion which he could have gone after. He has now spotted Zeb's Imperial Yard, and I don't know what this Imperial Yard's there for. And here we go, he's going to go for the kill. Burrells, Martok Burrells, all pulses. These guys are all pulses. And a few Quebecs. Yes, he's given up. He just... Look at the... Actually, he did quite impressive damage. He got like 20% of the shields. But it just wasn't enough. He'd have been there for several minutes. Zeb's trying to decide whether to harass or to go defend. He's got this sensor station keeping these ships visible. Kyuubi's getting some good kills. He's killed 2 miners slash Katingas. 2 Katingas, they were all converted. Didn't get this one. And here comes Zebh back to the expansion. All his ships are running in, and they're going to get pounded. Oh dear. I think Zebh has enough forces to withstand the heavy weapons fire at the moment. He's already chipped away half of the platform shields, and he's going to lose a cavort. It's lost engines. There we go, cavort goes down. Second cavort goes down. Wow, those platforms really do put out a lot of death. Was that a third cavort? I think Zebh just lost 3 cavorts in one battle. Yeesh. He really can't afford these losses for very long. Kyuubi is rallying his forces here because he feels that Zebh will come after this expansion again. To be honest, Zebh should go after the main base. There's absolutely no turrets here. Oh, this is going to be risky. Zebh sent some of his fleet through the nebula, some not. Kyuubi could decloak, take out this Sang, Vorcha and Katinga if he wanted to, but he's not gonna. The rest of the fleet's just too close for his comfort. Zebh gets back to base to repair. Zeb's got enough forces to defend for a while. I think that's going to be Zeb's strategy from now on. Heavy on the Vorcha production, and no back on the cavorts. That's interesting. So lots of Vorchas, lots of cavorts. Don't know what the Imperial Yard's for. Maybe saving up for Boggz. And here comes Kyuubi's massive fleet. It's not often you see a fleet this big unless you're playing as the Federation. And still he hasn't seen this area. So Zebh has 3 yards at his main base. Personally, I'd have put one of them over here. So yeah, Kyuubi goes after that Katinga, giving away the position of his fleet. If he was going to attack through this nebula, he now isn't. He's not going to be able to, because Zebh, he saw that, he's going to know exactly where Kyuubi's fleet is. That's what I think the Katinga was for, to be honest. Put it next to the nebula. Anything that comes through the nebula, it's going to destroy the Katinga, obviously. Gives Zebh an early warning. And Kyuubi's still oblivious to this expansion over here. He has gone for a battle yard himself, though. Not making anything at it. Presumably we're going to see armory now for Vorchas. Yep, there we go. Still heavy on the Quebecs. They're a solid ship. He's probably had to buy supply by now. There's no way he could afford this many ships without buying supply. He did get a lot of kills, but he hasn't got that many. I think he bought supply. And more Burrells. He really doesn't want Zebh cloaking any time today. So he's down to 130 supply. That's probably going to drop some more until he gets some kills. But the thing is, he's not getting the kills. He's not going out to harass as much. He's only harassed Zebh once today, while Zebh has harassed him multiple times. I wouldn't be surprised if Zebh's bought supplies as well. He is down to 26. I think he's bought some. It's possible he hasn't. Maybe all those minor kills helped him survive, but I doubt it. Kyuubi's entire fleet is hanging out. No, it's not. Most of Kyuubi's fleet is hanging out up at his expansion. Critically, at his main base, he has no Burrells. Zebh can use his cloak to run. Zeb's come in with a small force of cavorts, giving away his position. Kyuubi's decloaked his small force. 2 Quebecs, 2 cavorts. Zebh has lost a cavort. He's focusing on the miners. He's got 2. No, he's got 1. This one needs is 1% hull and shields. Zeb's lost 2 cavorts. Not sure where his micro's gone at the moment. Kyuubi just brought in a Burrell. It's going to make cloaking hard. And here's the rest of Kyuubi's fleet. All these guys are all dead. All those Burrells firing, there's just no chance of escape. And I think that is every one of Zeb's ships. Nope, a cavort survived. That was very costly for Zebh. He got 1 miner, maybe 2. No, 2. He got 2 miners, but he lost his entire fleet except for 1 cavort, and gave plenty of supply to his enemy, who is going to feel happy after that. So his Vorchars and Sangs, he's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Vorchars, 6, 7 Vorchars. He really loves those Vorchars. Here we go, Imperial Research. This is Bortus, isn't it? Yes. So basically, Zebh has got... This is now a game of how long Zebh can survive. If he survives to get the Bortus out, and he uses them to kill this massive fleet of ships, game's his. If he doesn't survive, say if Kyuubi realises he has about 6 times the size fleet-wise as Zebh and attacks, then he loses. He doesn't have the money for these Bortus, doesn't have the supply for them. He is now waiting to buy supply at his starbase, still trying the Vorchars, giving up on the cavorts. He needs kills. He desperately needs kills. Kyuubi has gone back to his expansion. Zebh is floating around between his base and expansion. He can't actually harass anywhere. Kyuubi has 2 heavy weapons platforms at his expansion. To be honest, I'd put my fleet at my main base if I had those 2 turrets. When Zebh attacks his main base, Kyuubi sends his fleet from his expansion to defend. If I were Kyuubi, I'd have the fleet mostly at the main base and maybe have a quarter of it at the expansion, because the turrets are going to survive for quite a while. Kyuubi is going for Vorchars. He should have 1 out by now. He doesn't have any up here. This is his first one. We'll check if it has polar on torpedo. It doesn't. Zebh does have polar on torpedo though. It's not charged on all these ships though. Some of his ships need to decloak for a while to get their energy back. Just this one. IKS Lurgvetler needs to decloak for a while. And he's still going for the spam of the little ships, Quebecs and Burrells and cavorts. He still wants the little ships. If I were him, he obviously can't afford all of them. Oh, here we have a decloak. Kyuubi let a Burrell get in range of a sensor ping, which decloaked it. Zebh is possibly expecting Kyuubi's fleet to be over here near his expansion, because there was one there, so he's going to stick over here. And all these cloak ships on my screen at once makes my frame rate drop, so I'm not going to look at them until they decloak. Zebh has a Bortus halfway done. He bought the supply. Here's the decloak, and Kyuubi's fleet is right next to him. Oh, what a terrible place to decloak. There was no way to spot that. Absolutely no way for Zebh to know that. Ooh, he can't cloak as well. 15-second cloak timer. Oh, that is horrible for Zebh. All those birds of prey are doing half damage to the Vorchar, but it's just not mattering because there's so many Quebecs there. Oh, that is horrible for Zebh. You can't really fault him for it because there was no way of knowing Kyuubi's fleet was sitting right there at the time when he decloaked. And this was brilliant luck for him. Absolute luck. He only lost, I think, 2 Vorchars and a cavort. He lost practically nothing in that. And here we have Zebh putting up more scout stations to protect his Bortus investment. One of the Bortus is out. Don't know where it is. There it is, up top. He's got one Boggz. He's trying to buy the he's bought one of the upgrades to give it a cloak, I believe. He doesn't want attack probe. It's not really helpful for him. No, he hasn't got advanced cloak. He needs advanced cloak if he wants to use the Boggz properly. I did see him do one of the Boggz upgrades. Basic Boggz system. Don't know what. I think that gave him Ion Storm, probably. Or does it come with that? He's not cloaking this Boggz, so I presume it doesn't have the cloak. And here, oh, he's doing basic Boggz system now. My mistake. I think he may have started it earlier, cancelled it to get some money. This basic upgrade should give him either the cloak or the attack probe. I'm not sure which one. It doesn't say here which upgrade it requires. So he's got 2 Boggz out, soon to be a 3rd. They come with Ion Storm. That's given for free. He's going to probably research the cloak so he can decloak and use Ion Storm. Zebh now is defending. He doesn't want to lose those Boggz. He's keeping Vorchas with the Boggz. He's put up a scout station. He really wants his investment protected. He's spent loads of money on the Imperial Yard, loads of money on the Imperial Research Station, a small amount of money on the Boggz, and plenty of Tritanium on the system upgrades. And Kyuubi, here we go, Kyuubi thinks he wants to finish this now. Both players have taken a very slow strategy today. Kyuubi now has an incredible fleet that, when it's cloaked, lags out my computer so badly. And every time Zebh attacks, he's lost ships. Kyuubi's been killing ships all the time. I think what's helped Zebh is, one, Kyuubi hasn't pressed his advantage too much. He hasn't gone in, he's only harassed once. He hasn't pushed in on Zebh to keep Zebh under any pressure. Zebh doesn't feel any pressure at the moment, and you can see that by the fact that he's got an expansion here, and he's expanded Tritanium here. Yeah, you can see why. He's got a low Tritanium count. So Zebh's gone out and stole this Tritanium. Oddly, he's taking his constructor away instead of bringing it down and taking the dilithium as well. His opponent hasn't expanded to more than 1 moon pair. What's this constructor doing? Maybe he's going to put up scout station, heavy weapons platform. He hasn't put up any scout stations too. He's relying purely on the barrels for the decloak, and as such, this main Tritanium moon is vulnerable. Luckily for him, Zebh repeatedly attacks the Tritanium and has cut the Tritanium out from under him so many times, but he's been producing nearly 100% combat ships, so no need for the Tritanium and much stuff there. He hasn't really gone for many specials. Let's check his fleet for specials. Nope, not for the Quebec, not for the Burrell, not for the Cavort, not for the Vorcha. I mean, he is rolling in Tritanium right now. He could be bathing in it, and he's got the research stations as well. It would cost him very little Tritanium, sorry, very little dilithium to buy himself all the special 3 ships. He's got nearly 5,000 of it. If I were him, I would go into his research station menus and start a spending spree. Just start buy everything. Weapons upgrades, any upgrades he can get his hands on to just get rid of this Tritanium. Maybe he could produce a few Khaldud from his starbase. He's queued up loads of supply purchases just in case he runs out of supply. If he was attacking, he would keep his enemy's supply down. Here we have him going up through the middle. Zebh is hanging around down here, decloaking with 1, 2, 3, about 10 Vorchas. He's got his Boggz out, 2 of them. 3rd one out now. He now has both specials, should be going for the cloak soon. Doesn't have the cloak yet. Here we go, Zebh's going to attack. Now what does Kyuubi do? Does he still attack himself, or does he run back and defend? He's running back to defend. Very good work by Zebh there. Very good work. Zebh, once bitten, twice shy. He doesn't want to stick around for too long. There's the cloak. No, that wasn't a cloak. Odd. I thought he was going to cloak away there. I think he's going to cloak now. There's the cloak. So yeah, every time Zeb's attacked here before, his enemy has just run along and attacked him. This time, Zeb's been wise and has cloaked before his enemies got there. So Kyuubi here has been run around. Zeb's killed some miners, got some ranks which he desperately needed, got some supplies which he desperately needed too. Kyuubi had his ships right next to Zeb's waiting expansion and waiting moons and expansion base all up here. He had Zeb's fleet was all gone. Kyuubi could have got a lot of kills, but he decided to run all the way back across the map. By the time he got there, Zebh had cloaked. And look at this, Kyuubi's walked his entire fleet past Zeb's hidden Tritanium moon. Hasn't spotted it. So Zeb's got this one for free pretty much for the entire game from now on. And he's running straight into Zeb's heavy weapons platform, which has already defeated 2 Borels. Zebh is going to Katinga everything. And this is now when the heavy weapons platforms die, because there's just so many ships on the board. And look how quickly these ships are dying to the heavy weapons platform and the Katingas. The heavy weapons platform's gone. So have most of the Borels. That is incredible. All of the miners turning into Katingas and all of the heavy weapons platform fire just melted through the birds of prey. Here comes the Boggz. Oh, he's not seen it. Zebh is over here. I'm not going to move the map over there. Zebh's over there. Zebh's decloaked his expansion. And there's the Boggz. Ooh, look at that pain. And he's cloaked in it as well, I believe. Eesh. That was costly for Kyuubi. Yee. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Zebh's turned it around. He's decloaked with his incredible force of Vultures at the expansion. Has munched through 1 heavy weapons platform. Munched through a 2nd. And currently outnumbers all of his enemy ships. I'm going to say it, that was the game changer. Those Boggz, Zebh used them perfectly. And they have changed the game. I think Zebh's won this now. He's got about 9 Vultures left. His opponent has no expansion, practically no ships. He's got a handful of Quebecs, which are practically gone, and a smattering of Vultures. That was incredible. So earlier, it looked as if the game was gone for Zebh. It didn't look as if he could pull it back. He lost ships at every single encounter. He went into every battle and came out with fewer ships. His opponent was getting kills everywhere. Every time he went into battle, Kyuubi, he was getting a kill off of Zebh's ships. But he just couldn't press it. Kyuubi is saying here that there was no mercy given for a noob. He really had Zebh over his knee at the mid game. He had a fleet that vastly outclassed Zebh's fleet. He vastly outclassed him in quality. He had better ranked ships. In numbers, he had more ships, and he had those game-changing Borels, which were incredible. Zebh saying here that he was allowed to get the Boggz. I agree with that. Allowing someone to get Boggz is, it's a no-no. Those Boggz changed the game on their own. And they didn't even have to cloak. It's just incredible how 3 ships just won this for Zebh. He's now going to repair all of his Vultures. So yes, Kyuubi is professing that he's new to the game. I think he did well in the early game. Zebh's saying he was afraid to attack, but that is one of the things that comes with experience, that even if your enemy's got a clearly superior fleet to you, you need to attack. no matter what, you need to be attacking, especially as Klingons. That's double for Klingons, because they only get supply when they rank up. Both players today have been buying supply at their starbase. It's been costing them a fortune. It's just so expensive for Klingons to buy supply multiple times. They get their supply by combat. The more they kill, the more supply they get. Also, Kyuubi should have spent that tritanium. He's still got 5,000 worth of it. At his starbase, he could have been making Kaldujas. They cost more tritanium because they're a support ship. Zebh saying he had plenty of soft, weak targets to go for. I agree. His main base. Kyuubi could have cut the mining straight from under Zebh. No chance of Boggz. Oh, I love this. This, it has to be, it's the Mokbara. This is going to be fun. Zebh is going to finish this game up with one push with Mokbara. Where's his Boggz? They are somewhere that I can't see. Ooh, and Zeb's put up a network of sensor platforms. It's not often you see a network of stationary emplacements like that. So yeah, Zebh was allowed to put dilithium mining up here, tritanium mining down here. I think that was very good work by Zebh. Incredibly good expansion tactics. He showed good macro play. And Kyuubi only ever went for one expansion. When really Kyuubi had such a large fleet that there was no chance Zebh could have dislodged him from an expansion if he defended it well. I mean, before those Boggz did their thing, Zebh couldn't dislodge any of the expansions or miners. The heavy weapons platforms warded him off. And here's all the Boggz. That's a lot of Boggz. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the heavy weapons platforms. And there's the GG. Kyuubi is surrendering. Personally, I very rarely build even one heavy weapons platform because they're very expensive, and I think ships are just better. But here we had 3 in one 1v1 game, and that is the game. Didn't get to see the Mokbara. That's a shame. I'd have loved to have seen the Mokbara. I don't think I've seen it in a replay for a very long time, if ever. I'd have loved to have seen it. It's such a fun station to use. But that is it. It was a good game, very fun to watch, and I'll see you all next time.